Hello everyone, and welcome to another Yin Yoga class. If it's your first time here, my name is Katie, and on this channel I focus on Yin Yoga. This class is the third class in a series of 1-hour Yin Yoga classes where I'm inviting you to come to your yoga mat once a week to do an hour of Yin Yoga. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, you can check the description of this video for more information. And there's also a link where you can sign up for really friendly reminders from me to do these classes. For this class, you'll need 2 yoga blocks, so make sure you have them nearby. And we'll get started today seated on the mat. So find your most comfortable way to sit. You can always sit on a yoga block or a cushion. And when you're ready, you might close your eyes or just soften your gaze. Lengthen through your spine. Drop your shoulders. Relax your jaw. And soften your face. The hardest part is over now that you've made it to your yoga mat. So well done for showing up. We'll take a moment just to observe the breath. You don't have to alter it in any way. Just feel it coming in and out of your body. And as you do so, you might bring the reason why you came to your yoga mat today to the front of your mind. What is it that motivated you to roll out your mat and turn on this video? And as always, if you feel comfortable doing so at the end of the practice, you're really welcome to share your why in the comments. We'll move into a breathing exercise called Anulam Vilam, or alternative nostril breathing. So if you need to open your eyes to peek at the video here, feel free to do that. On our left hand, we're going to bring the index finger and the thumb together, and that can just rest wherever feels natural. Then on the right hand, we're rolling down our middle and our index finger, leaving our thumb and ring finger available to close alternative nostrils. Now you can bring your right thumb up to your right nostril and close it off. Breathe in only through your left nostril for 1, 2, 3, 4. Close your left nostril and hold your breath. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Exhale through your right nostril. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale right nostril. 2, 3, 4. Close both nostrils. Hold your breath. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Exhale left. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale left. 2, 3, 4. Close your nostrils. Hold. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Exhale right. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale right. 2, 3, 4. Hold. You're holding for 8 seconds. Exhale left. Inhale left. Hold. Exhale right, 8 seconds. Inhale right, 4 seconds. Hold, 8 seconds. Exhale left. And keep going at your own count. Inhaling for 4, holding for 8, exhaling for 8. We'll go for a few more rounds. If your right shoulder becomes heavy, you can support your right elbow with your left hand. And just check in that your spine is still relatively straight. Once you've exhaled completely from your left nostril, you can remove your hand and return to a normal breath. Staying there for another moment, observing what is different within your breath, or just your general energy since you've started this practice. You can open up your eyes again. And we'll release the spine a little bit by bringing the right hand onto the mat and rainbowing your left arm all the way across. Keeping that left seat bone pressing into the ground. Gently squeezing your right side body so you can open up even more through the left. And then we'll go to the opposite side. Left hand comes to the ground, right arm reaches across. And we're squeezing the left so we can open the right. And come back to center. This time bring your left hand onto your right knee or just over towards the right. Right hand comes in behind us. Inhale to lengthen your spine and then exhale to gently rotate to the right. Maybe looking back behind you. And then we'll switch to the opposite side. Right hand comes to the left knee and the left arm is behind us. Inhale to lengthen your spine up. Exhale to slowly rotate. And we're just beginning the practice, so there's no need to go deep. Never forcing anything in Yin Yoga. And then we'll come back to center. And as you sit here for another moment, you might just drop your left ear over your left shoulder. Take a few breaths into the right side of your neck. And then right ear can come over the right shoulder. And we're breathing in and out from the left side of the neck. You can lift your head back to center. And from here, we'll come into our first pose, which is a little shoulder release. So you can take your yoga blocks and place them at the top of your mat, and they'll be there for us to put our hands onto. And then you can come to lie on the front of your body, leaving about arm's length distance between your body and the blocks. And then from here, we're bringing our hands onto the blocks, whatever way works best. And you can drop your forehead towards the ground. You might be starting to feel a very subtle stretch within your shoulders, maybe within your upper back. Remember, you can change the setting on your blocks to make them a little bit higher if needed. And we're going to stay here for 2 minutes. Your only job here is to be the quiet observer, witnessing the sensations that are happening within your body, noting your breath as it comes in and out. Before we move out of the pose, you might just gently roll your forehead across the mat, rocking your head from side to side. This stimulation on the forehead can have a really calming effect on your brain. And then you can release your hands from the blocks, make a little pillow with your hands, and then rest your head back down onto your hands. Finding crocodile pose now, bringing your big toes together. Heels can drop towards the edges. In our last class, we spoke a little bit about the fact that nothing is good or bad. Certain emotions, sensations, feelings will arise as you practice yin. And with the exception of physical pain in your body, just try not to label it, try not to react to what's happening. From here, we'll make our way into a pose called broken wing. So you can extend your right arm out to the right at the side of your mat, keeping it about perpendicular to your body. And then we'll very mindfully roll over onto the right hip, creating that stretching sensation in your right shoulder. Now your left foot might come back behind you, acting as a little kickstand for support. And you can rest your right ear back down onto the mat. And we'll stay here for 2 minutes. And you can experiment a little bit in this pose. If your body is inviting you to go deeper, you can lean a little bit more of your body weight into that right shoulder. And if it's asking you to back off, you can take more of your weight into your left hand. And once you've found your appropriate depth, you might bring your awareness back to your breath, back to the sensation you feel within your body. If your mind wanders off, that is okay. Your challenge is just to keep bringing it back to the breath or to the body. And then I'll let you know when it's time to release the pose. And now you can roll back onto the front of your body, moving slowly through honey. And then finding crocodile pose again. We'll repeat broken wing on the opposite side, so you're extending your left arm out to the left and then mindfully rolling onto your left hip. And staying here for the next 2 minutes. Now you can release the pose, coming back to the front of your body and finding crocodile pose. From here, you can slide back into child's pose, bringing your hips to your heels or onto a cushion or yoga block. Knees can be whatever distance apart works best for you. We'll bring our forehead onto the front of the mat and then extend our hands out in front of us, coming into an extended child's pose. We'll stay here like this for 1 minute. Now you can walk both of your hands over towards the left. They might come off of the mat, and then bring your head back down. So you've created a big stretch through the right side of your body. And now we'll walk our hands all the way over to the right. Spending about 1 minute tapping into all of these new sensations. Hands can come back to center now. And when you're there, you can pull yourself onto all fours. bringing your wrists beneath your shoulders and your knees beneath your hips. And spread your fingers wide so your wrists feel supported. And once again, we'll release the spine with a few rounds of cat and cow. So inhale to point your tailbone up, drop your belly down, bring your chest forward, look up. Exhale, point your tailbone down, round your spine, tuck your chin to your chest, and drop your head. Inhale to come back up into cow pose. Exhale to round down for cat. And keep going for a few more rounds at your own pace, following your breath. You can keep going like this, or you might do some swishes, moving your hips from side to side, and also looking back over your shoulders, making C shapes or S shapes, depending on what feels good. You can also drag your hips back towards your heels to intensify the stretches. And once you feel satisfied, you can come back to sit on your mat. Giving our wrists a little respite for a moment, we'll come into deer pose. So don't worry too much about the alignment in deer pose. We all have different shape hips, different bones, so deer pose never looks the same for two people. But the idea is to get our legs at a 90-90. So on the front, we'll bring our right leg out in front. The knee is roughly in line with your right hip, and then there's another straight line from your right knee to your right ankle. Now again, it's whatever feels good for you. On the left hip, we have a straight line from our left hip socket out to our left knee, and then the left knee to the left ankle is also in a relatively straight line. So you'll find that this kind of throws you out of balance, and that's normal. We, in a perfect, I don't want to say perfect world, but we want to try get our seat bones pressing into the mat. Again, don't worry too much about that happening. Once you do feel nice in this pose, we're going to bring our hands together into prayer position. You might lift your heart towards your brain, drop your brain towards your heart. And we're just pausing here for about a minute, witnessing our breath as it comes in, observing it as it goes out. Lengthening the spine, dropping your shoulders, and just welcoming these new sensations being brought about by the pose. Now from deer pose, we're going to shift our way into swan. So you can take your time getting there. The left leg will stay out in front, and then you're sliding your right leg back. Now the left leg probably won't stay at a 90-degree angle anymore, that's fine. You can bring that left foot closer to you. On the back leg, the toes can stay tucked, or you can have the top of your foot on the mat. We want to make sure that our hips are square, so we're not collapsed into the right hip, but rather both of our hip bones are facing towards the top corners of your mat. Now you can use your yoga blocks here to support your hands, or your hands can just rest next to you on the mat. And we want to create a little bit of buoyancy within the hips. So imagine that you're pulling your feet towards each other, feeling that lift. Opening up through your chest. Take a nice big breath here. Feel whatever you feel. You're welcome to stay here like this, or we can come into sleeping swan, keeping the weight in your hips as best you can, and then either coming down onto your forearms, or maybe resting your head onto the mat or onto a yoga block. And we'll stay here in swan for the next 2 minutes. If you're in sleeping swan, you can slowly make your way back up. You might keep your hands on yoga blocks here. We're going to transition to dragon pose. So you can lift yourself up, bring your back toes back onto the mat, and then however you get there is fine, but you're making your way into dragon pose, having your foot between your hands. You might step this front foot forward until the heel is underneath the knee. And then we're just hanging out here for a breath or two. And you're welcome to stay here, or you can take it a little bit deeper by bringing your right foot to the outside of your right hand, having those toes pointed away from you if that feels good. And we're staying here for about 1 minute, feeling that opening through the groin. If the pose feels too intense, you can bring your back knee closer to you. And if it doesn't feel intense enough, you can slide that back knee further back. Now we'll bring ourselves into a twisted dragon by bringing the right hand onto the right thigh. You might very mindfully press that right knee out to the right. Now bring your inner eye down to the tip of your tailbone. We're going to very slowly start to rotate the vertebrae in the lower back towards the right. Now rotate your middle vertebrae. Starting to rotate your upper vertebrae, and eventually maybe your neck starts to look to the right. If it feels good to go further, you might look diagonally back behind you. And each inhale here lengthens your spine. Each exhale helps you to twist a little bit deeper. Staying here for 2 more breaths. And we'll come back to center, slowly bringing that right hand back down to the block. If your right foot is not already in between your blocks, you can bring it back there. And from here, we'll come into dragon flying high using our yoga blocks. So you might bring them to their highest settings, so they're tall on the mat. And then we are lifting our torso up, shining the chest out in front of us. And just being really mindful here, feeling whatever is happening within your hips. Keep pressing that front heel into the ground so you can lift up through your upper body. Take 1 or 2 big breaths here, still pulling your feet towards each other. And then you can start to make your way out of the pose. Maybe just bringing your blocks to the front of the mat for now. Lift your back knee off of the mat and step your front foot back into downward facing dog. So the feet are about hip width distance apart, knees are bent, tailbone is pointing up towards the sky. And then drop your head so your ears might come in line with your biceps. And you might just paddle your feet here, stretch through the backs of your legs, swaying your hips from side to side. And when you're ready, you can drop both knees back down onto the mat. We'll just take a moment sitting on the mat, whatever way works best. You might close your eyes and just drop your awareness inwards, observing what feels different, maybe within the 2 sides of your body, maybe between the version of you before you started the practice and now the version of you that's here on the mat. Now we'll make our way back to deer pose. This time the left leg comes out in front. The right leg is making a 90-degree angle over at the right. We're thinking about having our seat bones pressing down, but not worrying if that doesn't happen. You can, of course, support this left knee with a yoga block or a cushion in underneath. Hands find each other in prayer pose. Heart is lifted, head is bowed. And we'll take a few breaths here. When you're ready, you can transition into swan pose using your blocks. Sliding your right leg back this time, and again making sure that your hips are buoyant and relatively square. Pull your feet towards each other and just check in to see how this side of the body is responding. Big breath in to puff out your chest. You can stay here or you can transition down to sleeping swan. We'll stay here for 2 minutes. Take about 3 more breath cycles here in Swan. And now it's time to slowly transition towards dragon pose. However you get there is fine. So first, keeping that left foot in between your blocks, checking that the heel is somewhat beneath the knee. Your back knee will determine how deep you go into the pose. And staying here, or perhaps bringing your left foot to the outside of your left block. Taking a twist by bringing your left hand to your left knee. Moving just one vertebrae at a time towards the left. Maybe eventually looking back behind you. We're just twisting and extracting out any cobwebs from your spine. Anything that's trapped, causing you discomfort in any way, is now just getting wringed out of the body. Two more breaths like this if you can. And then we'll make our way back to center. Left foot can come back to the middle. We'll make our blocks tall. Press into your front heel and then lift your upper body up. Feet pull towards each other to create some buoyancy. And remember, with the exception of pain, anything that's arising for you now, just try not to label it as good or bad. There's no right or wrong. It just is. Now when you're ready, you can make your way back towards downward facing dog. One final rinse of the body. You might lower your head towards the mat. Keep pressing yourself away from your hands as you point your tailbone up. Heels try to get to the mat. It's okay if they don't. Keep your knees bent and keep pushing away from your hands for a full body stretch. And then you can drop both knees back down to the mat and come to lie on the back of your body. And once you're there, you can take a bend into your knees, having your feet about mat width distance apart. Gently drop your knees from side to side for some windshield wipers. Inhaling to pick your knees up, exhaling to drop them down. And from here you can pick both of your legs up so they're just sticking vertically up into the sky. Arms can also reach towards the sky. And imagine that your hip socket is pinning you down to the earth. And then your shoulder sockets are also pinning you to the earth. And stay here and just imagine that any stress is falling out of your body into the ground. Relax your jaw, soften your face. And now you can bring your knees to your chest, wrap your arms around your legs, and give yourself a hug here. One final squeeze to extract anything that's lagging behind, anything that's stuck around or is left over in your body. Now it's finally getting squeezed away. And when you're ready, you can unfurl out into corpse pose, allowing your body to take up as much space as it needs. We'll spend the last 3 minutes of the practice here in corpse. So just see if you can become even 1% more relaxed. Relax your jawbone. Soften your face. Bring your awareness to the part of your body that feels the heaviest right now. Which part feels more connected to the earth? And then see if you can encourage the rest of your body to follow, to get heavier, to surrender and be dragged down as well. And remember, there's nothing required of you here. All you have to do is be the quiet observer. And I will let you know when it's time to come back. You can start to bring small movement back to your body, just coaxing yourself back to this version of yourself. And then you can come to lie on the right side of your body. Pausing when you're there. Remembering why you came to your yoga mat today. And really thanking yourself for showing up and for taking that step towards that goal. Come back into a seat when you're ready. And we will officially end this 1 hour class here. So thank you so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed this routine. And if you did, I would really appreciate it if you could leave this video a thumbs up, comment below, and if you're not already subscribed, do consider subscribing. I do lots of classes like this on this channel, and I would love to practice with you again in the future. And speaking of the future, class 4 will be out soon, so make sure to keep an eye out for that or sign up through the link in the description to keep you motivated and reminded to do these classes. So I'll see you again soon on the mat. Until then, take good care of yourself and goodbye.